Hi guys, I'm Elle, and today I'm going to be talking about the fact that nothing is cringe. So I feel like I spoke about this very briefly in my last video. I can't remember what I said because I posted that a while ago. I've been had a bit of a break, but I definitely know that I said I'm gonna make a longer video about this, and it's literally the next one. So, cringe culture. Not a real thing. It is a real thing as in it exists. Not a real thing as in it doesn't mean anything. Things go in and out of style so fast, and things are popular and they're not, and things are funny, and then 5 days later someone's saying that's not funny anymore just to be different, and then suddenly everyone's agreeing with them because it's different. So it's not real. People's opinions and people's views and what view is most socially accepted does not mean that you're doing something wrong if you find something funny, or that you should be embarrassed or you're cringe or whatever just because you're living your life and being happy. Like, embarrassment and like the things we should be embarrassed about and like cringe and whatever is literally made up. Like, we only feel embarrassed about stuff because everyone decided that it's wrong, or everyone decided that it's not the thing to be doing at the moment. So you go, oh, okay, wait, that isn't right, now I need to be embarrassed. No, you don't. My theme of this video is you can literally do whatever you want. No one's stopping you. It's not illegal. Well, it shouldn't be, because I'm talking more like trends and what outfits you want to wear and stuff and the things you like. So it's not illegal, shouldn't be, at least, and if it is, then that's on you. But it's not the embarrassment that comes with those things, or the kind of stigma surrounding certain like hobbies, for example, or TV shows that people like. It doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, you know how people say it's only awkward if you make it awkward? That's the same with like being embarrassed. I completely get things like anxiety. I'm very anxious. Sometimes I wear outfits and I'm like, oh my god, everyone's looking at me and I look so stupid. No one cares. Like, I know that doesn't combat the emotion a lot of the time, like the logic can't combat the emotion, so I am in no way trying to be like, anxiety is stupid and you shouldn't feel that way, because I understand that completely. I'm just talking widely about cringe culture and the way people make people feel embarrassed or bad about just being happy and living their lives. Like, I'm more talking about the perpetrators of it rather than people that feel anxious, because anxiety and just being overly embarrassed are two completely different things. But yeah, things are only embarrassing if you put it in your head that it's embarrassing. And actually, no, I'm rephrasing that. Why would you make people feel ashamed or embarrassed about something that they're happy about? Because like I said, I'm not putting this on the people that feel embarrassed, because it's not their fault, but I'm trying to relieve some of that embarrassment or some of that shame or that stigma. I'm not trying to make it their fault, yeah. Disclaimer, guys, don't cancel me, please. Yeah, it's not real. Obviously, embarrassment is a very real feeling, but you only feel that way because of the way people talk about things, or the fact that people have decided that something's embarrassing. Who are they to make that decision? No one. They're no one to make that decision. It's not theirs. Like, certain things in some areas are fine and people love it, and in some areas it's weird. Like, cultural things, like from certain cultures, you know, eating certain foods or certain I don't know what the word is, certain cultural practices might seem weird to other people, but who are they to decide that that culture is wrong? They can't, you know. If it's the way people are raised and the way they kind of go about life and it works for them, they're happy, who is anyone else to take that away from them? However, one thing I will say about people who kind of feel that embarrassment is more, okay, this is more to do with people who are afraid to be different, or they're afraid to be like cringe or embarrassed or whatever. you're being embarrassing. Like, does that make sense? Like, if you're in public, say, sometimes I've been in public, and I'm not talking about anyone who I currently associate with or I'm friends with, because I'm not being shady, but in the past, I've been in public and I get quite loud sometimes. I don't have great volume control if I'm excited or if I'm, you know, like, really into something. And if I talk a bit loud, people are like, oh my god, stop, you're being so embarrassing, oh my god, shush. And it's like, you're being more embarrassing by putting someone down and not joining them in their excitement and being happy for them and kind of matching their excited energy. Because if someone feels comfortable enough to be kind of that, you know, upbeat and like, yeah, and enthusiastic around you, you should be happy for them and share that feeling with them rather than being worried about the fact that people might be looking at you. It's like, no one is gonna remember that. Like, no one is. So I think this also kind of matches like the same kind of thing with, say, you go out for like an evening with your friends or something and you're like dancing or whatever, and people are worried that like people are looking at them or they don't know how to dance. I'm guilty of this, by the way. I will go to the club and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how to dance, like people are looking at me, whatever. I don't go to the club very often, I just want to say that. I'm not like out all the night, every night. So last time I went to the club, I kind of had a bit of an epiphany because I was a bit like, oh my god, I feel like I look stupid, whatever. And then I looked around and I was like, I'm not going to remember what any of these people look like in a week. I'm probably not even going to remember when I get home later because I'm not looking that much at them. I don't really care what they're doing. So why do I think they care what I'm doing? Because they don't. People are naturally not like self-centered, I guess. People think about themselves the majority of the time, not in like a self-centered way, but it is self-centered in the way of like people mainly are occupied with themselves. Again, not in a bad way, but I care about what I'm having for dinner tonight, or I care about maybe what I'll wear tomorrow, or I care about what I want to make my next video on. So I am not out and about looking at people and thinking, oh my god, their outfit looks so weird, oh my god, their hair looks so weird, oh my god, they're laughing really loud. Like, I don't care what people are doing. If obviously they're doing something crazy, I might look, but it's like, it doesn't affect my day, it doesn't change the way I feel about anything, I'm not gonna go home and be like, oh my god, you'll never guess I saw someone with weird glasses, for example, I don't know. Like, I don't care. Most people don't. People that do are embarrassing because they are petty and preoccupied with bringing other people down for things that they enjoy. And that's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to be mean. It's embarrassing to want to hurt people. And it's embarrassing to target something about a person or target a person's interests or something that they enjoy just because you don't like it or just because someone told you that it was cringe. That's the thing. Half the time, people that form these decisions don't even just think that themselves. They've just been told that and they go, okay. Like, they might not enjoy it, but they only will kind of penalise people for it if it's like kind of more widely frowned upon. I can dislike something that my friend likes and we'll still be friends, and if they're excited about it or if they want to talk about it, I'll listen. And that should be how people are. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean everyone has to dislike it, and that's the thing, it's not to do with everyone having to dislike it, it's to do with people whispering in people's ears that, oh, this is cringe, or this is weird, or people shouldn't like this, and if they like it then they're weird, and if they dress like this then they're weird, and it's like, no one cares. No one actually really cares about that. You can like what you like and you can wear what you wear, and I know that it's difficult. I like wearing fun clothes, but a lot of the time I will put an outfit on and I'll change it because I'll think, oh no, that's too like extravagant, like especially if you're going to uni, like going to my classes, I'm like, oh no, that will draw too much attention, oh no, that's too like, you know, pow, and I want it to be more casual and whatever. And that is me being worried, and that is me worried about not necessarily being embarrassing or like not being cringe, but it's just worried about people's perception of me. And it's like, that doesn't matter. I've been trying to get a lot better at that. I think it's a hard process to undergo, but it's a very helpful one, is like identifying your thoughts and your feelings and going, hold on, and kind of applying the logic to it. Like I said, when I was in the club and I was like a bit embarrassed, and then I was like, wait, I don't care about anyone else, so why do they care about me? And then I had a really fun night after that. So it's like trying to catch those thoughts as they come and go, you're a bad thought, let me make you into a good one. And then you kind of apply the logic to your thought process. And I obviously don't know how scientifically correct this is, but I think, at least with myself, it kind of has started to alter my thought process a bit, where I think I more naturally now think, it's okay, no one cares, it's okay, I'm not looking at anyone else, so they're not looking at me. And you kind of start to correct your thoughts, if that makes sense. Again, I'm a very anxious person, so I feel like I can very easily fall into those kind of patterns sometimes, and I feel embarrassed when I'm like that. I'm a performer. I've done drama for a lot of my life. My degree is not related to drama, but when I do extracurricular drama or things like that, or sometimes I want to, like, my boyfriend wants to read through scripts with me, because he also does acting, and I'll get embarrassed, and I'll get like, and then I know that I'm like being embarrassing by being embarrassed, because I'm like, why do I care? Like, it's stupid, and I know it's stupid, and it's okay for it to be stupid, and it's okay to still feel it, but I think there's a difference between feeling it and then letting it get in the way of your life or the way you function or the things you do. Because I've been very upset before about like being nervous and being like, oh, but what if this happens, but what if this happens, what if this happens, what if it does happen, what then? You will move on. You will overcome it, and you will live another normal day, and even if it takes months, one day you won't think about it anymore. Just like the million other things that have happened to you that you've gone, oh, like, going out of your way to stop potential bad things from happening also stops potential good things from happening, because you don't know how a situation's going to go. So yeah, it could have a really bad outcome, but it also could have a really good outcome, and then you've stopped yourself from knowing. Like, there's a really nice phrase by, I feel like it might have been a YouTuber, but I don't know if he made it up or if it was just a phrase before that. I imagine it was a phrase before that. I feel like it must have been around for a while, but oh wells instead of what ifs. It's easier to live with things and go, oh well, it didn't work out, oh well, it doesn't really matter, no one, you know, rather than going, oh my god, what if I'd done that and it had gone really well, you know? So I personally am getting to the stage where I'd rather live with maybe a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of anxiousness in while I'm doing a thing, because that's the thing, it's not always just before it, like, it is, but it lasts into the moment as well. But then afterwards I'll go, that wasn't that bad, and then I can do it next time, because I can go, last time it wasn't that bad. If you keep putting things off and putting things off and putting things off, it will make it more of a, it becomes like this big scary thing in your mind. It becomes a big obstacle, a mountain out of a molehill, some might say. Yeah, it becomes an obstacle, and it gets harder and harder to overcome it the more you don't just kind of like bite the bullet, take the plunge and go for it. I'm not saying that you need to be perfectly fine with these things. It's okay to feel the anxiety, like I said, to feel the fear, but don't let that stop you from doing it. Kind of work through it and go, okay, well, even if this is the worst case scenario, and I might feel a bit embarrassed, or I might feel a bit silly, is that gonna matter? Is it gonna matter in a month, a week? Is it gonna matter when I'm 50? No, no it's not. because no one's going to remember it. Like I said, everyone is so concerned with themselves, no one's going to care, especially not in like a week. And I think, like, going back to the thing of like other people maybe being like, oh my gosh, you're being so embarrassing, I think I have kind of a love-hate relationship with people being like, oh, they're being mean because they're jealous, because I think a lot of the time that isn't true. And I also think a lot of the time it can kind of invalidate the things people are feeling and the things people are saying to them. But I think this is one of the cases where that might be true, especially if someone doesn't really know you and they're just making a little mean comment. They're jealous that they can't be confident, because it takes confidence to kind of like something that people think is silly or cringe or embarrassing. It still takes confidence to do that. It's still very brave to do that. And I think some people are just jealous that they can't kind of be individual and kind of live their lives in that happy way. And I think sometimes people are sad and they do take that out on other people. And it really, really hurts to be on the receiving end of that. But something to keep in mind is, like I said, you can do anything, so can they. With that anything, they've chosen to be mean and they've chosen to put someone down for being happy, and you have chosen to be happy and like something that makes you happy, and you've chosen to kind of live your life with grace and kindness and be just yourself and just be true to yourself. Which one would you rather be, you know? Anyway, I also think something that plays into this kind of like idea is like trends and aesthetics. Again, you can do whatever you want. You don't need permission to wear stuff. You know how people are like, guys, what coat are we wearing this winter, and what kind of trainers are we wearing this summer, and why are you doing that? Why are you asking everyone else for their permission? I don't know, I feel like that's not permission. Permission is when people are like, can we make this a trend so I can wear it? Just wear it. just wear it. How do you think trends come in, you know? Like, I think it's easier to wear it and be like, oh, I'm a trendsetter, I'm starting a trend, you know? I think it is all to do with like fixing your mindset, which I know is very difficult because I struggle with it myself. But I think especially on social media where it's just everywhere and it's like you're asking for the permission or the opinion of so many people who don't know you and will never know you, just to live your life and do something normal that you might like. So just, why don't you just do it, you know, before doing all that extra stuff? Because then it like becomes an obstacle, like it builds it up to be this big thing that it's not. You don't get a reward for keeping up with trends either. Like I said, things come in and out so quickly. People will decide something's funny and then in a week it won't be, or people will decide something's cute and then in a week it'll be cringe, or there'll be a trend that's a bit different and so many people won't like it and so many people will, and then it's like, well, it doesn't matter which one you are anyway, because not even everyone agrees on this. So you don't get a reward for keeping up with all of that, for buying all the new clothes and buying the same thing in 10 colours just because it's trending. So why do it? Like, why would you not just wear the stuff that makes you happy or like the stuff that makes you happy without having to constantly think about whether in a week other people will still like it or not? Like I said, it's nice to have common interests with people, but that's a very different thing. You can have common interests with people and those interests can still be unique and different and not the latest thing. And if that interest is the latest thing, then, and you love it, then good for you. Then that's what makes you happy. But if you're going out of your way to like something or do something just because it's in trend and not because it's what you truly want to do for yourself, then I think that's where the kind of changing your mindset thing needs to come in. And it's very difficult to not care about people's perception or their kind of like approval. I understand that, especially I think in your like earlier teens where you're so surrounded by so many people your age, like secondary school, that kind of thing is very difficult. but I think having individuality and uniqueness from that kind of age is kind of like a saving grace and like a safety blanket, because as much as it's really horrible, and I know it's horrible because I've been on the receiving end of it, people are going to be horrible at that age and around you your entire life, no matter what you do. People are going to act unkindly, and people aren't going to live politely or kindly or with grace, and that is really sad, because a lot of the time, like I said, it's because they're hurting, or it's because they can't be authentically themselves, or whatever the reason might be. People are going to be mean no matter what you do, and someone is always going to have something to say no matter what you do. People say, you know, oh, you can't make everyone happy, you can't please everyone, and that's true, because like I say with trends, it's like people always dislike it no matter what the trend is. There's always someone who won't like it. So why are you going to try and keep up with it if it's not gonna please everyone, especially if it's not even going to please yourself? There's no point. You don't get a reward, you don't get a medal. Later in life, no one's going to say, oh, how many trends did you wear when you were 15? And then, you know, you get a cookie for saying 50. It would be nice if that was the case, but unfortunately it's not. And again, like I said, if you genuinely like things that are trending and you go, oh yeah, I love that, because I do. Like when things come into style, sometimes I go, oh yeah, that's really nice. And I wear it because I like it, not because it's in style. And I'm glad sometimes for the trends and the kind of, you know, social media and stuff for bringing things to my attention, because I go, oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so cute. And then I can like something, or like a popular TV show. It's like, yeah, cool, now I watched that because other people liked it and I liked it. But you don't have to like things just because other people do. Also, there's no like right way to do an aesthetic or a trend. No one cares about that in real life. People on TikTok might say, name 5 songs, or they might say, oh, if you listen to this punk band, then you're not emo, or something like that, or like if you listen to this music, you know, like where there's subgenres of things that are quite closely related, people might have these like rules or these opinions or whatever. No one cares about that in the real world. You can go out on the street and no one will look at you and say, you're not a hippie because I can tell that through your headphones you're listening to My Chemical Romance. You know, like, no, that's such a weird example, I don't know. Like, but no one cares. It's not a real life thing that people care about. People have so much bigger issues going on that is the last thing on their mind, I promise you. People just like to be nitpicky and like hateful on the internet for no reason. Like I said, you're always gonna have people like that, and it doesn't actually matter. And the last thing I think I'll say is that off kind of the back of that is that, like I said earlier, people's opinions and like people having different tastes doesn't equal right or wrong. Like 1 million people can like one thing and 5 people cannot like it. They're not right or wrong because it's an opinion. And that's the issue, is that so many people are forcing their opinions like it's truth, like it's gospel, and it's not. And I think you just need to remember that if it makes you happy and you're not hurting anyone, there is no logical reason for you to be swayed away from that. There might be people's opinions, there might be people's mean remarks, there might be people that don't like it, people that do like it, but if there is no logical, genuine reason other than, I don't like it, it's stupid, who cares? You can do whatever you want. There we go. That is that. I feel quite passionately about that because I really don't like when people try to shame people for being themselves or for liking things that make them happy, because I think it's mean. I think it's meaner than some other things, because no one's hurting anyone and you are just forcing that kind of like agenda down people's throats for no reason, and I really don't like that. So I really wanted to make this video, even though it might seem a bit nothingy or a bit, you know, random. it's something I wanted to speak on. I think especially in a really, really dark, scary, heavy world, especially at this time, people need all the kind of little bits of happiness they can get. Why would you take that away from someone? Yeah, please just engage in the things that you enjoy, like the things that you like. If it brings you joy, that is what matters. But yeah, I hope everyone has a lovely evening. Keep being yourself, please. You can do anything. You can be whoever. I hope everyone has a great day, night, whatever. You are so loved and appreciated more than you'll ever know. Thank you very much for being here.